Hey man, as a human, like if you're a male or female, once you start that OnlyFans, yo, bottom tier human, yo, no longer a human.
As much as y'all talk about people in the LGBTQIA plus community doing sex work, that that's literally a lot of the times the only option that we have, because we go and work for these companies that are supposed to be about diversity and inclusion, and then the moment we make them aware of the hostile work environments, the homophobic work environments, the transphobic work environments, we get fired, and the person who's disrespecting us gets to stay there.
You know what? I think it is so funny watching other men in the gay community completely demonize and treat people that make spicy content as if they're bad people.
People don't really talk about what comes after you start sex work or OnlyFans, especially within the gay community. At first, it can feel empowering, being desired, seen, and paid. And for many people, it is a choice that makes sense within that moment. But there's a reality that exists alongside the freedom. Once it's online, it's there forever. Even if you delete it, even if you move on, the internet does not forget. That permanence follows you into dating, into how people see you. Some will fetishize you, others will quietly disqualify you, not because of who you are, but because of what they think your past says about you. You can be kind, emotionally available, ready for love, real love, and still be reduced to a link someone once saw. Sex work can open doors and close others at the same time. And everyone deserves to understand both sides before, during, or even long after they made that choice. But let's unpack this and talk more about it.
Hoes.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your boy Dante, and I'm back again with another video. We just reached 30,000 subscribers. That is a lot of freaking people, and I cannot thank y'all enough. Y'all been showing a lot of love for Vlogmas. I'm gonna keep thanking y'all, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Now, as you guys can see by the title, we are discussing sex work. I really wanted to have this conversation because I did a video. I want to say I did it last year or earlier this year. I can't remember, but it was called "The Downsides of Doing OnlyFans as a Gay Man." And basically, I kind of gave you guys my testimony on it, like my story when it came to me doing OnlyFans. Yes, I did it for 2 years. I'm not ashamed to admit it. But yeah, like I just kind of gave my take when it came to like the downsides of it and how people can look at you or the world can look at you different once you make a decision to make that OnlyFans or post news or whatever the case may be. So that leads me to my question. Why do some gay men resort to OnlyFans or doing sex work, right? Now, there is a plethora of reasons as to why people decide to do what they do. I know from me, just speaking from where I was at the age of 19, I needed the money and I needed money. I needed that money right then. These jobs do not pay a damn enough. They don't pay enough. What the hell I'm gonna do with $2,000 a month? Then when these jobs offer you $20 an hour, they're not giving you enough hours. Like, let's talk about it. But I do want to be real as I execute this video because it is going to fuck up your dating life. You're going to be looked at as undateable. There's a lot of factors that come into exploiting your bodies for the world to see. I'm going to just be very honest with you. So just be mindful. Like, if you are somebody that's watching this video that just may, like, you probably just be curious to do it. I mean, people, y'all grown. Like, I feel like once you turn 18, you are grown to do what you want to do legally. Just think about long term. And speaking of this, I want to read this tweet to y'all. Please, please, please have a backup plan when coming into this industry. You don't have to be stuck doing for 10 plus years. You do not want to be 40 plus years old, still relying on for money. Stack your money and invest it or start a business. It should be a stepping stone, never the end goal. And it was crazy because I literally had that mindset at the age of 19. Like, I knew that this was going to be a thing where I was going to be exploited. So I had to figure out a way how to get in and how to get the hell out. Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be no fake person. It's very easy to get in and it's hard to get out. And let me explain. When I tell you it's a possibility to make six figures a month, now, I'm not saying that'll be consistent for you, but baby, it's possible. And it's like once you start seeing them big checks roll in, you're not gonna want to work a regular 9 to 5. And it's some people who are okay with being in their 30s and 40s and still do it because the money is just that damn good. But I literally agree with everything that Fat Cat had mentioned. I want y'all to give me y'all take when it comes to sex work. Like, why do y'all feel like it's so highly stigmatized within the gay community, within the trans community? Why do you feel like a lot of us resort to it? As much as we can sit here and say all day that a lot of gay boys do it, it's a lot of gay boys who don't do it. They have actual careers, and kudos to them. But I really just want to talk more about the sex work aspect of everything and just to get to the bottom of stuff, really. Sex work has long been intertwined within the gay community, often as a means of survival rather than choice. In the early 20th century, homosexuality was criminalized across most Western countries, leaving queer men with few options for work or safety. Many turned to street-based sex work, but not out of desire, but out of necessity, navigating constant police harassment and social stigma just to survive. By the post-war era, cities like New York and San Francisco became hubs for queer life. Gay bars, clubs, and emerging gay neighborhoods offered visibility and community. Yet economic exclusion persisted. Sex work remained a way to pay rent, eat, and participate in the social world that society largely denied us. Within these spaces, underground drag balls and performances flourished, offering queer people creative and emotional expression, often funded through sex work. The 1970s brought increased visibility and activism in the wake of Stonewall. Yet marginalized youth, particularly young trans and homeless individuals, continued to rely on sex work for survival. In the 1980s, the AIDS crisis devastated gay communities, bringing intensified stigma for those involved in sex work. At the same time, activism around harm reduction and safe sex emerged, highlighting the resilience and resourcefulness of queer sex workers who continue to navigate dangerous social and health landscapes. Ballroom culture immortalized in the 1990 documentary Paris is Burning, which showcased this reality. Many performers relied on sex work to fund their involvement in balls, creating elaborate costumes and establishing their place in a world that offered them few other opportunities. As technology advanced, the late 1990s and 2000s saw queer sex work move online. Websites and chat rooms allowed sex workers to reach clients more safely and discreetly, but the pressures of survival, performance, and stigma remain. The emergence of platforms like OnlyFans in the 2010s brought a new kind of visibility. Understanding this history means seeing the humanity behind the labor, recognizing both the challenges and the perseverance of those involved. That's my brief history that I wanted to do when it comes to sex work. And yeah, I'm gonna put the article in that I got this information from. So let's get into the negative effects, child. So the first thing I said was emotional burnout. I feel like when it comes to emotional burnout, sometimes you can get drained into the shit and it could just become numb to you. Just speaking from experience, like it really can become numb. Another thing is relationship challenges. Something that I mentioned earlier, like it's you kind of become undateable when you are somebody who decides to do sex work on OnlyFans. Not saying you can't find love though, because it's definitely possible, but you're gonna get a lot of no's because people gonna find that out and they're not gonna want nothing to do with you because people feel like, oh well, you do this. I don't want nobody knowing how my man peen look or ass look or whatever the fuck. So you have that. The pressure to look a certain way. So just staying in shape, that don't sound too hard to do, but sometimes it could be pressure for some people. And of course, health risk. If you are somebody who do OnlyFans and happens to collab with other people, it can be risky and you have to continuously get tested because you are hooking up with different people. But that does vary because there's a lot of creators out here that do solo content. So yeah. Now, I want to take this last part. I want to react to some TikTok. So let's get into it.
You know what? I think it is so funny watching other men in the gay community completely demonize and treat people that make spicy content as if they're bad people. Like, they completely will not date men like that just because they are making them think as if, like, they're terrible people for making or doing sex work. And it's sad because the same men that are doing that are also the same men that are spending 8 hours a day on Grindr, sending nudes for free. All these people are doing it for money. Like, you have sex workers that are doing this for a living, and because some of them didn't have any other choice, they didn't have any other resources but to do this, and they're making a killing off of it, but you're over here fucking judging them, and they're doing it for money, starting a business. You're over here judging them for free, sending nudes for free to men that don't want you. Like, mama, I don't know, I just think it's so, like, sad, and I'm like, you're literally gay. The last thing that I think other people of these professions need is for you especially to be judging them. And I don't know, but it's just like bullshit.
I do think some of us, we get beside ourselves and we start to judge people who do it. But me personally, I don't think just because you don't want to date somebody who does it, I don't think that means that you're being judgmental. I just feel like it's your personal preference.
As much as y'all talk shit about people in the LGBTQIA plus community doing sex work, that's literally a lot of the times the only option that we have, because we go and work for these companies that are supposed to be about diversity and inclusion, and then the moment we make them aware of the hostile work environments, the homophobic work environments, the transphobic work environments, we get fired, and the person who's disrespecting us gets to stay there. So after a while, if you keep getting fired for showing up as yourself, respecting everybody else, but you're constantly getting disrespected, and when you go to HR, the people that are supposed to make it better, they just fire you for, they find some reason to fire. Oh, well, you had your phone out. Oh, well, you took a picture with your badge on. That goes against social media policy. Oh, you overtalked a member on the phone. That's abusing the customer. They will find little simple shit to fire you instead of training their employees on how to handle different individuals. This is 2025. This may be the most that you've seen trans people or gay people coming out and being around, but this is not the first time that y'all have seen this shit. So before y'all judge somebody that's selling their body, before y'all judge somebody that's doing sex work, before y'all judge somebody that's on OnlyFans, think about what drove this person to go in there. A lot of the times, the only thing that we're allowed to do, the only way that we can survive is to market off of people being sexually attracted to us or just being curious. That's how we have to make our money because we still have to survive. I have been fired from about 3 different companies after I came to them and let them know, hey, I'm uncomfortable here because this type of behavior is being exhibited. A full investigation was launched, all the facts were there, and literally it was turned on me. Oh, well, you were late coming back from break on this particular time, so we're going to have to fire you for time adherence. I just came to you and told you somebody called me a faggot. Like, what does that have to... That's what we go through. It's almost as if, like, when a woman goes and tells someone, hey, I was sexually assaulted, and the first thing out of somebody's mouth is, oh, well, what did you have on? What?
I feel like a lot of us that's queer, some of us, we do experience discrimination within the workplace. Now, it was one thing that I kind of slightly disagree with, but she kind of made it seem like some people, like, not saying they don't have a choice, but it's like that's the only way out. And no, we, as trans people, as gay people, as lesbians, we are worth more than just doing sex work. But I do get what she's saying when it's like sometimes you literally have no choice. Like, we have to make our fun. So if you got to do a little bit of market yourself, do your biggest one. But I don't think that's the end all be all for none of us. Like, a lot of us have, it's like a plethora of careers that a lot of us do. So I don't agree with that part.
If sex work didn't have such a negative stigma on it, then the world would be a much safer and better place because we live in a society where conservative ideas and traditional gender roles are forced onto everybody. And when you're somebody who hides your true self to fit in with the crowd, you build up a resentment towards yourself and you take that anger out on everybody who's able to present themselves in their truest forms, you know what I'm saying? Especially the ones that are going against the status quo. And the reaction that both men and women that are stuck in that conservative closet have towards like OF models or even women that want to show their bodies on the internet is essentially the same because like they both try to belittle them, and that comes from a place of resentment and also jealousy because they want that attention that they get. But the way that men and women differ in their treatment of sex workers comes from like their dehumanization of these people, which like women do dehumanize them too, but like men do it on a greater scale and like make it way worse. And also men will be violent with these people. And there's a real reason why there's no kind of like real legal protection around sex workers because there's a lot of people in power that use their services. But again, because there's such a negative stigma around their work, they feel like they have to cover it up. And if there were real protections for sex workers, then they wouldn't be able to take advantage of them like they do. And honestly, you could really expand this to sexual expression or the overall expression of oneself because, like, since we live in a conservative society, it makes everybody have to be the same way. But since everybody's different, a conservative way of thinking and traditional gender norms are not going to work.
He make a very great point, but I think the negative stigma just all boils down to your body being exploited for the world to see. And it goes down to like how your dating life goes, how everything goes. It can affect your future too. So yeah, you guys let me know how y'all feel about this topic. Do y'all feel like I touched on everything I was supposed to? I gave you guys a history. I gave y'all the negative effects. So y'all just let me know how y'all feel about sex work. I will see you tomorrow on Sunday of Vlogmas day 14. I love y'all and thank you again for the 30K. Bye.